pays what you got for me.
Durag Diaries, or should I say Durag Delays? Durag Delays, Durag Diaries, whatever it is. I know the names that you guys have come up for me now, but one thing that we know is I run on black people's time, and I'm sorry, my bad. But we are here now, just 7 minutes late. It's not too bad. It's not like last time, and we are here to discuss what happened last night. No cup glory for us. The reigning and defending champions march on into the quarterfinals. And we just weren't good. We just weren't good. But look, oh my God. Oh, look who it is. Hey, don't kill me. The trolls are here. But yes, as we was saying, we do have, of course, the unfortunate situation that we do need to address. Richarlison and Johnson playing against us. They're really among us. Like, us man are playing mafia. Us man are like, among us. We got two guys among us that are just playing against us. But look, we're going to get into all that stuff. We're going to get into some of the breakdowns. I've got some screenshots and pictures from the game that we need to discuss, because you know how I done it a few weeks ago. We're back to it, talking about a certain man and his positioning and so on. We're going to get into that a bit later. But before we do any of that, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Yeah, we're on the road to 5K. Last lap settings, last 400. It seems like this last 400 is taking longer than the jump from 2K to 4K was quicker than this jump at this point. But hey, look, we don't stop. The grind continues, and we are here every day, 10 a.m. You guys know where to find me. Spurs or the moment, or sometimes match preview. Whatever the show is, we're just here at 10 a.m. every day. Also, I am here to let you guys know, we are moving the North Divide. The North Divide will now be the first show on the Monday. So we'll probably be doing 10 a.m. on the Monday, the North Divide, and then onwards from there. We'll just see how that goes and keep it up within that time. Ghost is in and out of the room as always. And now he's going to run away. Lock that. But let's talk about it, man. Big up to everyone inside. Big up to the people. Them, I can see Tottenham Ranger again disappears after a win, but is back here after a loss. It's rather typical of him, and he wants to run agendas. So we're gonna get into some of the stuff that you've said, some of the other stuff that people have said on Twitter. If there is anything that needs to be sent for anything you guys want me to react to, tweets and so on, just put it in the chat, and I'll get around to it at some point. Big up to Frosty Ghost in the building, nice and early though. Big up to the Tottenham Ranger as well. And also big up to John Durag. Big up Jords there. Just end the stream. Rah. I mean, 3 minutes in, shit. I can if you really want me to. If you ask me to do it, I'll just end the stream again, innit? Like, it is what it is. But here he is and out. Big up to Luke, man. Luke's going to be back on the channel real soon. We're going to sort out some times and so on. I know everyone's schedules are just real busy at the moment. There's a lot going on. But we're going to get Luke back on the channel to talk a bit about what is going on, some of the tactics, and again, talk about the players, because I know Luke, like myself, was a fan of Xavi when he come in. And I was actually really impressed with Xavi last night. Really impressed. Like, that's the one game I watched and I'm like, okay, this is exactly what I brought. This is the number 10 that I needed to see. And I'm still seeing people tweet and say things like, oh, Xavi, people talk about Xavi. Seeing Saeed at me, Saeed call me, and now they're all just waffling about other stuff. Win, lose, or draw, come on, you Spurs. Of course, that's where I'm at. Man said agenda. Well, you weren't here after a win, and now you're here after a loss with about 10 comments before the video started. So that does lead me to suggest agendas are being run, but sure, you know, sure, you're not running no agendas over here. Good morning, boss. The sun is out. Bad performance. It is what it is. Let's get ready for Chelsea this well. Do you know what? Big up to Wayne Francois, because he's at where I'm at. The sun is out. Yeah. It is a decent. I don't think it was a bad performance. I just need to say that. I don't think it was a bad performance. But we lost. It is what it is. It was a Carabao Cup game. We move. Like, it happens. We haven't won this trophy for 17 years. So we've sort of been used to this happening. Obviously, as you guys know, I did want to have a good cup run in this competition this year, but there are some times you're going to come up against teams that are just better than you, and Newcastle just had that little bit of extra quality. Though there were a lot of mistakes, they just had that little bit extra quality than us yesterday. So, yeah, look, they won, man. They definitely won. Don't end the stream. I love your lives. Big up to Frosty, man. I appreciate you. And do you know what? That it was, when you talk about the actual creation, it was one of the better performances that he had. Guys just be waffling. Sorry, like, I'm getting the trolls at me during the live. I'll share my screen. I'll show you guys what I'm seeing. Because this is what's going on, yeah. Getting the trolls like Saeed at me whilst we're live. And he tried to call me last night. I just ignored the call because I'm like, for one, we're not having Man United fans call me after they got knocked out to Grimsby. Definitely not. But more importantly, these guys are talking about Xavi had a bad game. I think generally people just watch football with calculators, or people don't see a GNA and they say, oh, bad performance, let me run my agenda. Because this is just absolute waffle at this point. Nobody can tell me that they watched Xavi yesterday and thought, he was a bad performance. I watched the game and he was average. Bro, you're not getting away with this. And then post some stats to suggest that he had a bad game. But it's rather convenient that the stats that he showed were just these ones. Doesn't show any of the stats where it's like successful passes, created chances. There's none of these stats here. This just shows that man are running agendas. But hey, look, we'll get round to all of this stuff a bit later. Let me get back to that screen. I feel like I prefer this one so much better. When I'm in the big screen, I feel too big. Man, I feel like I'm in the screen. Like, man's here. Watch it. Right? It feels a bit weird watching yourself sometimes. So I might have to go look be small, and plus, it just sits perfectly. You know, the two there is to do, even with the little things. And I mean, it's moving a little bit better. Listen, Jords, get Tony, bring the foe from retirement, or fuck, cool, Berbatov. I don't want to see Ben Chodder. Listen. Just say Richard, man. I do love. Honestly, I love the nicknames, but sometimes you're doing too much. Just say Richard, man. Just call him Richard. I don't even know what Ben Chodlison is, bro. Come on, we got to do a little bit better there. Get Recky and Johnson onto the bench ASAP. I wanted Kinski to play so bad. Hopefully, we'll get better with more time on the pitch. I didn't want him to play. You guys know me. I said he shouldn't play. Kinsley's actions for the second goal was hilarious. The finishing was arse. Overall shit performance. We looked lost in the penalty box. All right, do you know what? Let's talk about this because tell Hooks that Van der Ven scored as many as victim Jokeres. Odegaard averages 5 GNA a season. He needs to be quiet on cams. Yeah, that's the thing. We can talk in. We can talk to We can talk about fucking Odegaard and them, man, and compare Odegaard to Xavi, but I'm not here to do that. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to talk about the performance yesterday. Here to review the game and go into a bit as to why we lost yesterday. Because ultimately, like I said, I was actually impressed with the performance. When you look at some of the stats, let me share my screen as well. Let's get this up so we can actually go through some of the stats and some of the stuff. So. Have a little bit more of an in-depth review of the game. Let's go to that screen as well. Zoom in one piece more. All right, there we go. So obviously, we know we lost 2-0. I know I said 2-1 in my match reaction. I don't know. I must have just had a little brain fart. Do you know what it is? Sometimes when you're doing these reactions, because obviously I started, then I stopped, then I started, then I kept messing up in like the first 20 seconds. And I flowed through one and I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to keep going. But I was speaking and didn't really notice I said 2-1 like an idiot. We didn't score a goal. We did not score a goal yesterday, as we can see here. It was 2-0. Now, when we actually look at the performance itself, like I was saying, on the stat sheet, it was fairly even on possession-wise. The possession leaned into more our ways. I think the game sort of went in phases, as you can see here on the attacking momentum. Up until they got the first goal, it was pretty much all Newcastle. They had the majority of the chances. They were breaking through our lines. You can point out a few early chances that fell to Barnes, fell to Voltemada, fell to Willock. I was going to say Willock. Like he's German or something. No, it's just Voltemada and then Willock. But as you can see here, pretty much as they got the goal, that's when the momentum shifted and we built ourselves more into the game. But even then, I felt like we did create some good chances, but it was just unfortunate that Richarlison was in the positions to receive those chances, because I feel like the XG, now obviously this isn't factual, it's not. But I feel like whenever Richarlison's thrown a chance, he can't have the same XG as a chance for even say Mateta. I was going to say Harry Kane, but that's even going mad. Like, let's just say a Mateta or someone. Like, when you compare Richarlison to just an average striker, he's below average with his finishing and XG. So I don't even think his XG should match up to what these guys have. Then as you can see there, into the second half, I feel like we started off the second half pretty good. I know they've got them here, but I feel like we started off the second half pretty good. They were just really lucky that the goal they scored was down to a huge mistake from Kinski, just a really bad timed run on the cross, misses the ball, Voltemada headers it in, and then from then it's pretty much all us up until I think this point would be the substitutions. When we made a few of our early substitutions, we brought Kudus and Moani in. And I just felt like when they came on, Moani was pretty good down that left-hand side, had a good run through the middle. That was defended by the referee, which is madness. Like, he actually cut through, was breaking the lines, and the referee stopped the counter. But Kudus didn't really get into the game. Now, I don't know if it was because the way he was positioned sort of out wide right into that open space and was like, you go out there, stay out there, as opposed to some of the other games where he's been more inside. I feel like that sort of kept him out and away from the game because we didn't really get the ball down that side, and most of our joy started to come down the left at that point. So I think it's fair to say that Kudus and so on didn't really get into the game. But I will say, fucking hell, sorry. But I will say it was probably impacted by the fact they made substitutions not long after. Brought on this fucking. He's a linebacker, bro. This guy is not a footballer. He's not a European footballer anyway. My man plays linebacker in the NFL. Go send him up to the LA Rams or some shit. He can become Aaron Donald's replacement because he ain't a footballer. The challenge that he done on Kudus should have been a red card. Should have had a red card. Man literally had his legs in between man's hips, fam. How have you got your legs in between man's hips? And then as he tackles him, he sits on him. He's still pushing him down as he gets up. Kudus gets up, reacts, pushes him off. They both get a yellow. And it's like, bro, how does Joelinton get a yellow for scrapping two? This is what Kudus got a red for last season against us, by the way, for scrapping players and sort of pushing everyone around. He got into a skirmish with Kudus. Then Xavi comes over, obviously defends Kudus. Shout out to my boy Xavi, showing that heart and passion for the badge, you know, coming out there being like, who's on beef? Who's on badness? Who's on badness? And obviously Joelinton's on badness, so he's trying to scrap Joelinton. Joelinton's not having it, but same way, he showed the heart and desire. So sometimes you need players with that. And at that point, referee goes, yeah, calm down. Joelinton yellow, Kudus yellow. And it's like, bro, what are we doing? He fouled Kudus. He then gets up and tries to fight Kudus, but you're going to give both of them a yellow. Kudus is reacting. Is there no such thing as self-defense? Is there no such thing as self-defense now? Someone bangs me in my face, I bang them back. We're both going to prison. What are we going? What's that? What's going on? What are we doing here? Like, it's one of them ones. What are we doing here? Because we were getting yellow for stupid fouls. And then obviously, Joelinton got his one yellow, but they weren't getting no yellows in the game. They were just freeing them up to us. They were getting foul after foul. Look, 13 free kicks. We had more free kicks than them, but somehow we got more yellows. And we got fucking hell, I can't talk. They only got 4 yellows, which is just stupidness. It was just stupidness because they were poor. On the corners, though, I think it's fair to say that our defending was pretty poor. I think the goal that they ended up scoring, both of the goals. Let me get these screenshots up, yeah, because I can't lie. Really damning, really damning. Like the positioning. It's not even the positioning that's the problem. It was just the goalkeeping. Like the basics of goalkeeping was so poor. They were so poor. Like when you look at this first screenshot, let me get this up big. How do I change window? Like we're gonna have to remove, stop share, reshare. We see this. Let me zoom in. This is the first goal. When you look at the picture, this actually looks like a save. This is what makes it even worse. This what actually makes it even worse. Because when you look at this, it looks like a save. They crossed it in. Obviously, Fabian Schär was sort of in between this middle space. I think you could say... Now, I know we do zonal defending and zonal marking, so I'm not going to sit here and say this player should have been marking this player, because that's obviously not how our setup works. But I think it was a little bit poor that Bentancur was sort of caught in no man's land, and the player was just behind him. So he should have shifted a bit further back to make that more challenging. Fabian Schär just found himself with the free header. Obviously, we can't show the footage, but we can show this screenshot. In this moment, I kept watching this goal back and I was thinking, what was going on? I kept looking at the defenders. I kept trying to find, but the defending wasn't the issue. It's the fundamental goalkeeping. The ball is here. What actually happens is Kinski ends up diving within his own net and just sort of parries the ball up. You would think, I was watching something about match fixing yesterday. You would think that he was fixing the match because 2 of the mistakes he made were just 2 very stupid, basic goalkeeping errors. I'm looking at this and I'm like, where? Like, has he not saved this? The ball is literally here. The ball is literally, it was so easy to save. Like, it actually makes no sense as to how he didn't get this. Like, it actually makes no sense to me. Because, look, the ball's here. Sorry, let me remove that. The ball's right here. He's going to fall. But the ball bounces up somehow and ends up over here. I'm still so flabbergasted as to how he didn't get this. Kinski was at fault. This is to all the people that wanted Kinski to start, telling me for weeks, Vicario's not that good. Vicario can't play out with his feet. Kinski can play out with his feet. But what is the job of a goalkeeper? What's the job of a goalkeeper, people? It's to defend the goal, to keep the ball out of the fucking net, not to kick out from the back and pass it to his defenders. That's not the job from the goalkeeper, quite frankly. I can get a centre-back to play out from the back. I can roll it out to the centre-back in the box, and then we can play out from the back there. That's what I know back in my day. In my day, I'm going to do that. Back in my day, 2 of the centre-backs get on the edge of the 6-yard box, and you play it out there to the edge. Or you're on the edge of the box, literally in that wide area. You would receive the ball up here, for example. Receive the ball over here, or sort of over here in this area. So when you get it, the fullbacks then spread wide, or however your setup is, you have the fullbacks and the centre mids. You've got plenty of options. You don't need a goalkeeper that can spray it through the lines per se. You don't need that. That is not what I've grown up on football. So I don't feel like we should be making that a thing. But big up to Karate FC. Come on, family, to keep the faith still. Come on, you Spurs. Big up to you, man. I appreciate the super chat. But I have to be honest. Look, I've got a lot of faith, Karate. I've got a lot of faith, but I'm just breaking down the game right now. And it may sound negative with certain things I'm saying, but you'll know throughout watching the video, if you're tuning in for the full live, that I'm a very positive Spurs fan. So I'm not doing negativity right now. I've still got plenty of faith, but I just need to talk about where it went wrong yesterday, of course. New season, we got injuries. Plus, we still need to get rid of some of the deadwood. I don't think the deadwood is the issue though. I feel like obviously we've got a few deadwood players, but it's the players that we have on the pitch that aren't necessarily turning up. I will allow Kudus a bad game here or there. He's the only one, an outlet. Yeah, he can have a bad game here and there, but I don't necessarily think he had a bad game yesterday. Just couldn't get into the game. Kinski still has no hands in 2025. The man cannot save a PowerPoint file if his life depended on it. Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Smash the likes and subscribe to Jords, Durag Diaries, Elijah, Too Much of E, and everyone in the Spurs community. Big up to Phil, man. I appreciate you, my bro. Big up to Philly every time. Aaron's coming on one, obviously doing up bare caps lock, bare finger mashing and all of that. I appreciate you, Aaron, though. Always in here, so regardless. Even Eric Four and Ian Walker would have known this was coming. Still have faith in Kinski. Yeah, man. I don't know if I still have faith in Kinski. I'll be totally honest. I don't know if I still have faith in him. I'm watching some of the things he's doing, and I'm just like, bro, what is going on here? When you look at not just this screenshot, but there is another one. That's like, as much as I'd like to sit here and say to you guys, yeah. This is the only mistake he made. It wasn't the only mistake he made, because we know that he also was at fault for another goal. And the goal that he was at, the goal he was at fault for was this one, the second goal, which was again just awful, just awful. It's just awful goalkeeping. There's no two ways around it. The ball gets crossed into the box on the right-hand side. As you can see here, defensively, we aren't in the best positions. Votamada's got the jump on Danso. Spence is sort of caught. I wouldn't say no, man. He's in a good position to defend the back post, but also you could say potentially be caught out if that ball came in a bit deeper and was whipped into this area over here. But still an opportunity to save it. What you would expect in a 1v1 situation where you have two of your centre backs going up against someone who's aerially competent is you just leave your centre back to deal with that. You stay on your goal line and you manage it from there. At least on your goal line, you've got the option of sort of reading the play. You can work out the sort of the flight of the ball, where it's going to land, where he's aiming, and you've got time to react. If you've got good reactions, you'll be able to get to the ball. But at this point, this is what everyone kills Vicario for. Everybody kills Vicario for these types of things, for coming out and missing the ball, not being dominant aerially, not being able to control his box. What was going on over here? What was going on in his mind? What was he even thinking? Man like Tony Kinky trying to press up on man yet again. I don't really know what he's doing. Was at fault for us getting knocked out the Carabao Cup the last time, and now he's at fault this time. It seems like he's just brought a Carabao Cup curse with him, fam. I don't actually know what is going on. Comes out, jumps, launches for it, loses it, and then Votamada with a free header into the goal. If people saw the reaction from Jed Spence straight after this, it was just like, yo, what? Like, Jed Spence was looking around like, what the fuck is this guy doing today? There was a few times when he's on the ball as well, and I'm just watching. I'm like, what is Kinski actually doing? He didn't show to be this all great from playing out from the back goalkeeper. Didn't even show confidence in manning his box. Like, the one thing, again, I want for my goalkeepers to defend the goal. My man is Butterfingers. Every time I've seen this guy try to catch a ball, it's falling all over the place. Every time I see this guy sort of tasked with actually being a goalkeeper, he doesn't look that good. I can't sit here and defend him. Tony Kinski's not good enough. Shouldn't have played him in this game. And as we're seeing, it's now our fault. It's now our fault because we chose to play this guy in the game, knowing that he wasn't good enough, knowing that he would probably make a mistake or two. You know, he's Thomas Frank trying to do the, do you know what? But like, yeah, we got to give him a chance. You know, we made too many changes yesterday. I generally think we just made too many changes. Going back to the lineup, because I should have started there really, is when you actually look at the lineup itself, you can already see that I think there was a few problems. We know that we started off with two centre-backs that don't really play together. So we have Paulinho and Danso. And against a team who has a flourishing attack, like with the Harvey Barnes, Votamada and Alanga. Alanga wasn't really a problem, I'll be honest. I don't think Alanga's that good. But Jacob Ramsey as well. I just think these three players, when you look at Votamada, Barnes and Jacob Ramsey, their attacking threat and how good they can be, probably wasn't best to start these two at the back. But again, I don't necessarily think these two were poor. When you actually look at their individual performances, they done pretty well at times. But I think the positioning was where the issue was, because Newcastle found a lot of gaps in the box. They found a lot of space to create, and they had the best chances. There's no doubt about that. Newcastle deserved to win the game because they had the best chances. And you'd probably look at a few of their players and say they were poor performances in front of goal. Definitely Harvey Barnes being one of them with some of the chances he had. But the actual formation, it seemed to be like we was 4-4-2 out of possession and this 4-2-3-1 in possession. When we got the ball, Xavi Simons dropped in between the lines and sort of he was pressing high up there in a two with Richarlison whenever we was off the ball and sort of moving in that two across the front line, being our first line of defense. But then when we got onto the ball, you had Xavi Simons dropping in between the lines, doing a lot of work to pick the ball up from deep. But also, as you can see here, if we get his heat map up, I spoke about it in the game. This is one of the times I've actually watched Xavi Simons and I've been really impressed. Now, I'm seeing some people in the chat, as I said, I'm seeing some people talk, Saeed and these man, refer to Xavi Simons' game wasn't good yesterday. Xavi Simons had a good game yesterday. I actually think his all-round game, his all-round performance was good. He was doing, look, you can only see he made 5 passes wrong the whole game. 5 passes wrong in the whole game. He made 2 key passes. His dribbling was okay. He had 1 successful dribble the one time that he had 47 touches, a lot more than he did in the game previously. Defensively as well, was really sound. Won 6 out of his 7 ground duels. Only got dribble past one the tackle that he got down. And look, he lost possession 8 times, which is not a lot for a player that had 47 touches. Was all around the pitch. Looked really impressive. I think the freedom of having him in that front line sort of, he was disguised as a striker out of possession and then just had freedom to create wherever he was. It really helped him in the game because he was able to operate in that sort of right half space a lot of the time. A lot of his work came down that right half space. It just wasn't helped by the lack of any attacking ability from Brennan Johnson. As you can see, we know Brennan Johnson's operate down this right-hand side in this match. But when you actually look at the performance from him, 0 out of 4 crosses accurate. You need your wingers to at least put the ball into the box accurately, be able to find some players in good positions. Try and do something for us. Okay, you wasn't able to cross it in, you wasn't able to pass. Cool, it's fine. Dribbles, 0 out of 0. Fucking 0 out of 0 dribbles. He didn't attempt one. This is the problem. We have a winger that doesn't know how to play on the wing. He's among us. They are among us. He's the guy. He's the imposter. 28 touches, possession lost 14 times. This is the guy that's killing us. He's playing against us. This is the guy I get most frustrated with, him and this man. And this is why I'll never trust ratings. You got a 7.2 rating, but yet again, showed us nothing. 29 touches, 8 times he lost possession. Again, now, Xavi almost had double and lost possession 8 times, but it's not terrible numbers. But look, 1 unsuccessful dribble. Again, another guy who displaced nearly half of his passes were displaced. Nearly half. In your opposition half, exactly half of his passes were displaced. In front of goal, had some really good opportunities. Some really good opportunities. Again, that he just isn't good enough as a striker. The fundamentals of his positioning, the fundamentals of where he is, everything of that he does is just playing against us. He's playing against us. I need to open up all these windows, actually. I need to get them all open, not just one, because I've got quite a few screenshots here of where Richarlison's just Like, I actually don't know what he does for us at times. I'm really so confused as to why we have this guy as our striker. I did put a public apology out to anyone that I've offended in praising Richarlison, because I shouldn't be praising Richarlison in 2025. I should know better. I'm better than that. So look, if I've been dissing your strikers and praising Richarlison, shit, I'm at ease. But let me share this screen now. So this is what's going wrong, because why is the share not working? Oh, it's on the. We're gonna have to do the. Let's just do this. Let's just do this. So, evidence number one. We're going through them all. We're actually going through them. Before I get onto this one, let me come to the chat. Let me come to the chat. Cut the nonsense, Jords. We are terrible, man. I don't think we were terrible yesterday at all. Big up, Jords. Simmons went missing again. I think people are just running agendas. Simmons definitely didn't go missing. Xavi, I'm losing patience, man. What the fuck are you? I think people are just waffling. If you're losing patience with Xavi, then I don't think you're watching the same game that I'm watching. Xavi was actually good yesterday. Again, if people are going to use one pass that he done in the start of the first half that went wayward to say that he was bad, then I don't know what you're watching. He was doing all the things that a number 10 is supposed to be doing. He was dropping between the lines. He was creating. The best chance of the game came through his creating and sort of him laying the ball off to Sarr, and then also created a few opportunities for himself. One that should have been a corner, but was ultimately given as a goal kick. Good little shot from the edge of the box. Could have been better. But definitely showed himself to be a lot more offensively positive yesterday. So again, like I watched that game and I took confidence from the game against Everton to see that he's been growing into himself. And in this game, even more, because he looks like he's becoming himself in this game. And he played a lot more like the Xavi that I've seen prior to him joining Tottenham. So look, if you guys are losing patience, then hey, give up already, because you don't have any patience. And also, I don't think you guys know what you're talking about. Because, yeah, you're sitting there and saying your number 7 might be asked, bro. Yeah. Your opinion might be asked, Elijah. I'm not going to lie. Hey, I'm just saying. I'm just going to throw it out there. I think people that watched yesterday and think that he was asked, I think your opinion on football might be asked. But, hey, that's just me. I'm just going to throw that out there because I don't see how you can watch that game yesterday and say he was asked. As I've said, people are just using confirmation bias at this point. You're watching stuff, seeing no GA and going, oh, he's shit. Because you already thought he was shit. You want him to be shit. Of course you're going to think he's shit. If I watch certain players, I think Richarlison's shit. When I'm watching Richarlison do some of the things he's doing, of course it's confirming that he's shit to me. To some people that think he's good, they might see him get a headed shot on target and think that he's doing fucking well, bro. Like, that's the difference. But get that scrub Richarlison out of my club. He's bleeding, Jords. Simmons is leaving end of the season. He's trash. If you think so. Best performance by Simmons since he's joined. See... Shout out to, I think that's Nigel. So again, the usernames are just so confused me, but I think that's Nigel because I agree. Bundy stats, he was dead. So you're just lying, Elijah. You're just lying. The stats, and this is what people go wrong. Bun the stats. Well, if stats are backing up what I've seen with my eyes, there's no bun in the stats. Bun your opinion. Because what is your opinion being backed up by? What? Your own opinion. I back my opinion up with the things that I can see with the stats. Like, that's the difference. That's what I'm doing. So, bun your opinions. I know what I saw yesterday. Xavi Simmons was good. The stats back up that he was good. He had a pretty impressive performance. Now, he wasn't some creative demon. I don't think we was a creative team, like some mad creative team, but that was our best attacking performance yesterday. We created more dangerous situations in that game than we have in the past 4 games. And that's the facts. You can watch the game, and just like we saw against Aston Villa, that was actually a good performance. I don't think it was a bad team performance at all. I think it deserved a draw. I don't think we deserved to win the game. Like, I don't think we deserved to win this game. I think Newcastle still deserved to win because they created the better opportunities. And ultimately, we made the mistakes that gave it to them. But it was still a positive performance from what I saw attacking-wise anyway. Defensively, we were a bit of a mess, but that's going to happen. If we have Romero Van der Ven back there, I don't think it's the same. But going forward, we were good, man. We were good. See that, you Kinski? Send him back to Czech Republic. Bro, send him to Ukraine for all I care, fam. Like, send him to Russia. Just get him out of my club. Get him out of my club, bro. He's one of the shittest wingers I've seen in my life, bro. Hey, Among Us. He's playing, he's the mafia. He's the mafia. I said, sort your life out, Jords. Alright, karma. Don't let me start sending binds for you, bro. Don't let me start sending binds for you. You don't even want it. Good morning, and big up to the members in the house, but you don't want binds. Johnson, the only player I know that beats the defender then turns back. He don't even beat the defenders. I took some confidence from beating Mikalenko. It made sense because he beat the worst fullback in the league. Of course, he beat Mikalenko. But big up to Anonymous Gaming. For me, we lost that game because of the Brazilian hooker up front. He ruins the two-man. Bro, it's mad. It's literally like being on a two-man with a guy that's out here just scoring bare own goals. The guy's just out here waffling. Guys out here saying, oh, he's revealing all your dark secrets on the two-man. That's what, man. He's playing against us. Playing against us. People slating Simmons. Do you not remember that Sonny struggled a lot his first season and almost left before Poch convinced him to stay? Jords, not gonna lie, you're clutching at straws. No, I'm not coping. I think you guys just don't watch what I'm seeing. And again, sometimes it's hard for you guys to see what I'm seeing because your eyes just aren't that good. That's what it is. I think some people's eyes just aren't that good. I think some people's eye tests are shit, I'll be honest. Like that is the facts. Chat, don't fall for these straw man arguments. He's doing the light skin victim thing. There's no victim thing. He's actually was good yesterday. Morning all, big up Jords. Simmons is slowly growing into Spurs. He'll be a proper player soon. Jords is another Thomas Frank, deluded. Spurs fan, what is Xavi Simmons good at? Is it passing? Is it ball carrying? Is it shooting? He has a bit of both. Now, I do think he needs to improve some of his decision-making. That's where I think he needs to improve, is his decision-making. Ultimately, when you get the ball in the final third, you just need to make sure you're making those right passes. The difference between the best players and sort of the average players is it's that decision making in the final third, finding the right player, making the right decision, making sure the pass that you're making is going to lead to a goal, or the fact that you're going to take on your man, you're going to decide to shoot this time leads to a goal. That's what makes you a real good player. So he definitely needs to work on some of few things. He's still a bit young, innit? But again, good man, good performance. I take a lot of confidence from that yesterday. Going forward, we were trash, Jords. What were you talking about? We couldn't hit a barn door. But again, what were you watching? That was one of our best attacking performances. That actually was. When you look at the patterns of play, and this is why I think people, again, like, I think you just fail. You fail to actually, and I'd invite people onto the channel to break down a game to actually understand where they're going when they say it was poor. Because when you look at the actual game, I'm going to bring up a few of the chances. We made much better chances than we have in a lot of the other games. In most of the other games, our best shots and best chances have come from corners, have come from mistakes, haven't actually come through our own playing through the middle, playing through the team. But again, I'm going to go through some of the chances that we had in literally a moment. Jords was watching the game with his back turned. Bro, you must have been watching the game with fucking 4D glasses on. That's what must have been happening. You must have been watching the game with 4D glasses because I don't know what you're watching. You must have been super zoomed in. Man must have been watching the game with shades on. I don't know. Maybe you didn't see anything. Clearly you wasn't watching that I was watching. We played well in terms of Frank, just the individuals that were poor. So, and again, it's like people, I'm saying it, people in the chat are saying it, but then there's certain guys like you and Ghosted that are going to sit here and say, no, but George, you're coping. No, I think you, man, are just coping on the fact that it wasn't good because what? Because we didn't win. Hey, what are we doing? At least I can prove I watched the game. Where's your watch along? I don't need a watch along to prove that I can watch the game. I've done a match reaction where I spoke about the game, and plus I have all these screenshots that I'm going through the situations where I can explain everything that happened in the build-up to it. Question, Jords. In your opinion, what midfield do you think? Do you know? I'll come back onto this a bit later. I've got you, definitely, Wayne. I'm gonna start this question, and I'm gonna come onto it because I do want to get onto this. But yeah, look, let's talk about how the attack broke down yesterday, and again, how the main man broke the attack up top, was playing against us. Now, this came from a situation where Richarlison got one of his shots on target. Ball came into the box, decent little cross. I think it was from Pedro Porro at this time. And again, this is just me pointing out a basic, and this isn't even the worst. This is nowhere near the worst of decisions that he made. But again, it's some of the bad decision making that he makes that just impacts the team. He got a cross into the box. As we saw in our previous game or previous 2 games, 2 of the times that we've been really effective from corners and crosses has been getting that ball to the back post. And what do we do when we get that ball to the back post? We header it back across goal. Why? Because it creates a dangerous situation where sort of it causes the defenders to react, but also gives our attacking players more momentum because for one, they've been practicing, but for 2, they can header the ball and jump into the ball. So they can put some power behind the header, not just jump back. Because as you know, when the ball comes back and you've got, well, I don't think people know this in the chat, actually. I don't. So I'm going to have to explain this, obviously, because there's some people that don't watch football. They're just watching calculators. But let me explain. So as physics would tell, that when someone puts a cross into the back post, especially in a position where Richarlison he's stationary, a lot of the time you don't have any momentum to build up, to build some power into the header, to actually put yourself into, to create a good shot, to create a good chance for yourself. So Richarlison's jumping, and naturally, as he's jumping, he's leaning back. So the only momentum he gains is just from pulling back his body and in the air pushing. So in that scenario, if you're not close to goal, what you're best off doing, unless you're some amazing header of the ball, which we know Richarlison isn't. He's hit and miss. Sometimes he'll score a worldy header, might score a decent one, and then sometimes he doesn't do it for ages. He can go 4 or 5 months without scoring a header. But cool. In a scenario where you're in this position, because you can only build up the momentum in that space where you're just sort of flexing your body, you're just using, your vertebrae, the back muscle, the spine to bend back and create that momentum. What you're best off doing is maybe doing a pass, on FIFA, tapping that X button, put it back across goal. So one of your other players in Papsar, Xavi Simons can now challenge for that ball and get it, because if he put it into this area, would be closer to goal and have a wider goal to aim at. Smart striker in this position would have put it back across goal. Would have aimed for one of the players. Would have just think forward. One of them ones, bring it, a little dink, just a little tap. Not even do too much. But no, Richarlison. The guy that's so goal hungry. The guy that runs in front of goal and the only one thing he thinks is shoot. He just thinks score, but he doesn't actually have the quality to do it. He just headers it, flicks on the header, goes straight to the goalkeeper's hand. Straight to the goalkeeper's hands. Bro went on SofaScore, but talking about watching calculators. I went on SofaScore to show some of the stats while I was talking about the game and some of the situations in the game E. But obviously, I know you can't do that because you're struggling to tactical breakdown games. It's all right, man. I'm teaching you. You're going to learn. Hey, it's all good, man. Obviously, people won't know that behind closed doors, he'd be WhatsApping me, asking me, like, Jords, I saw this, like, this little graph, like, can you help me out here? And I've been having to help him. So, like, people don't know. But it's cool, innit? Like, Elijah, man, I know you want to do the YouTube thing. We can see who wins the YouTube thing, innit? So, as we see here with Richarlison, just another poor decision made from him that broke down one of our attacks. Now, on to the next one, where, do you know what? Let me see. I've got, yes. Oh, wait, no, there's 2 situations with this one. This one. Now, this is the scenario in which Xavi Simons done some nice creative work inside the area, shifted his body, found the ball to Papsar, who, like he said, a lot of people started asking for Sarr to start because he shoots and he shows a little bit more initiative on the edge of the box, and that's exactly what he done. Found himself in a good position on the edge of the box, angled out his body, put the ball into that wide bottom hand corner, and to be fair to Ramsdale, it was a nice reactive save. Ghosty, he doesn't want to show the DMs. It might look spooky. It actually might for Elijah, bro. It will get real dark. He does not want to show the DMs, bro. He doesn't. But Papsar takes the shot, And the whole time that Pap Sarr was taking the shot, Richarlison stood here. Richarlison was stood here the whole time. I should have screenshotted before the shot was taken and after the shot was taken to show you his lack of IQ as a striker. The one thing we've seen with Solanke and the majority of his goals that he got last season, and people that kill Solanke will never sit there and admit this. They'll never, and again, maybe they just don't know this side of things. So it's fine. If you don't understand it, it's cool. You don't understand how a striker's supposed to think. It's movement. It's acting on instinct. Whenever a shot goes in, the one thing is you need as a striker is to follow up. You follow up into an area that even if you don't go into the right area, you follow up just in case it falls into an area that you could potentially win the ball in. Now, in a position where Pap Sarr is shooting in this area into this corner, you could say that the best position, one of the best positions for Richarlison to operate, especially when you can see there's defenders in front of him, is to in and around the 6-yard box, just, get a little bit closer and hope maybe the ball hits out from the post. Maybe the keeper deflects it and it rolls into this area. But if not, you just go into that area just in case. Just in case. You know one of them ones? You go into that area just in case. No. What does Richarlison do? Because you know what? Brennan Johnson does well. He followed up. Brennan Johnson followed up. The ball bounces off here. He parries it. Brennan Johnson puts it across goal. And as you know, if you watch the game, sort of the ball trails along here. Just runs across goal and goes to no one. Richarlison was stood there watching the whole fucking time. This is my problem with him. This is why I don't rate this guy. This is why I don't want this guy starting up top for us. Because he's just ball watching. He's ball watching. Again, this was another good attacking play. We done a great situation to set up the shot for Sarr. And then the ball falls back with a little bit of luck. And what do? You just need someone to penetrate the area. Penetrate the box. But he doesn't have the IQ to make these runs and time himself to be in the right situations. He generally doesn't. I actually sit here and I'm like, yo, what is this guy doing at times? Because this wasn't the only time. Yet again, he shows the lack of IQ and just the lack of inability to just put himself in the right area. Again, this was in the first half. Really good attacking play again. Really good attacking play. We catch him on the transition, on the counter. Bergvall, who, do you know what? I have to say, I was impressed with Bergvall yesterday. I was actually impressed with Bergvall yesterday. He was playing in sort of a wide left position as a wide creative forward inside, but was inside the channels a lot of time, was operating in many of the different areas. So it was a bit confusing at times, again, with this setup, because there was a lot of rotations, a lot of players sort of swapping in and out. You had Sarr going in a little bit deeper, and sometimes Sarr would press forward, and then Bergvall was moving in. It was a lot going on. So for the pure tacticals, we were trying to understand formations and shapes and so on. I'm sure they had a nightmare yesterday. It was actually an absolute nightmare. But Bergvall puts the ball into this area. Again, as you can see, there's so much space for Richarlison to operate. So much time. Because they're actually... Bergvall's ahead of him at this point. Bergvall is ahead of him. As you can see, he's sort of the player who's most ahead because he sort of dribbled. And yeah, he's the player that's furthest ahead. So what does he do? And as any attacking midfield would do, put the ball across. You're not going to shoot in this situation. You've got your striker running at the back post. You put it across the post, sweaty goal setting. We were trying to be sweaty. We were trying to get sweaty out here, so we put the ball across the box. The one thing you would expect from your strikers, as the ball comes across the box, all you have to do is just get your foot on it, just angle it straight. It's just a straight finish, just side foot. Just a nice side foot pop finish. Don't even have to put power into it. You don't even have to put power into these ones. You just connect to the ball. Just make sure your foot gets on the ball. What does he do? What does he do? The ball is here. The ball is here. You look at this screenshot, please. Hey, you know what? Tell me what happened in the chat. Because obviously I'm terrible at breaking down the game. You guys tell me what happened in the chat. Jords, your opinion's the same as mine from a month ago. Stop following my blueprint. We got very different opinions. Very different opinions. Again, I wouldn't even look at the midfield being a problem yesterday. I generally only look at the defense and the goalkeeper mistakes as being a problem. But this, Tell me what happened, people. Tell me what happened. The only Richy defender. No, man, it's talking to everyone. I'll be honest. Like, I'm not getting onto. I'm just getting onto Richy to show people that again. Like, people think that we was poor yesterday, but I'm showing you many attacking scenarios where we could have been effective if we had good players, if we had experienced players in these positions. We could have scored a few goals. I looked at it and said, although our XG was like 0.94 or some shit like that. I generally think that like we could have scored 2 or 3. This definitely should have been a goal. There's no doubt about it. Ultimately, what happened here is, look, you can see Richarlison setting up for it like he's going to shoot. He just runs past it. He just mistimes it completely. Just like, he just runs. I generally had to watch it back like 3-4 times. I was like, was the pass played behind him? Was it in front of him? Like, the guy just missed the ball. This guy is awful. He's actually god awful. He's so damn bad. How is the fact that we couldn't score a goal yesterday not a problem? But bro, you're not listening, Ghosted. Because if you were listening, you would quite clearly see that the reason we didn't score a goal is because of this man up top. Again, like, this is where people fail. And again, I've done this analysis. For Richarlison a few weeks ago to show you guys that his IQ breaks down a lot of our attacks. His positioning breaks down a lot of our attacks. You need a competent striker to link play in order. And also you need a striker that puts himself in the right areas in order to score goals. When you play through your striker, not like Ange didn't play through his striker. So he was able to score goals in spite of the performance from Solanke at times. Whether he was in the right areas or not, we didn't create weren't creating for our strikers. Thomas Frank's system is all around building for the striker, putting the striker in opportunities to score, getting him in situations where he should be putting the ball in the back of the net. The fact we didn't score a goal yesterday is not an indictment on Frank Ball. It's not an indictment on players like Xavi. Xavi put the ball in, nor was it Bergval. Bergval, Xavi, I think Bentancur and Sarr were pretty good as well. I don't think any of those players were bad. I don't think they done poor in the build-up either. Defensively, yes, again, there were some questions, but like we knew that was going to happen naturally with either of our senior centre-backs in the game. But you have to watch this game. Watch it back. Go watch the extended highlights back. Obviously, you'll go watch the full game back. Whatever you want to watch back. You'll see, again, we had quite a few decent attacking patterns. The patterns looked better. Up until this game, I've not seen us pass it around the edge of the box, create some solid chances consistently in the match. This game, we done it. We just couldn't finish. We couldn't finish, and we couldn't have a striker that actually was smart enough. Tell him Richarlison employed, crazy world we live in. Yeah, Richarlison needs to be sold. Tell probably needs to be sold because he come on and added nothing as well. Added nothing on the as well. Richy on the left. Richy needs to be dropped. And the guys like you that keep going, yeah, Richarlison should play. Richarlison shouldn't play. He shouldn't. I don't even, like, I said Richarlison would start yesterday because I knew he would start because obviously Colin Mwani's going to need a rest and Tell's not good enough. But Richarlison gets nowhere near this team when we have Solanke and Mwani available. He doesn't. I can see Richarlison not even being in the squad at times because he has no use. There's no use in this team for him. No use. Jords looks like Durag Louise too much. Douglas Louise too much. Yeah, man. That one's been running for a few years now. Well, yeah, we would say watch the highlights because not everyone has a Spurs play account. I know you don't have one. Yeah. So I know you're not going to watch the full game back. So you might have to go and watch the extended highlights on YouTube. But I have a Spurs play account, so I can watch the full game back. So I can't miss a game. That's the thing. Like, I can watch any game back that I want. And go back now and watch the full game, the full match replay. So can't catch me out. You definitely can't catch me out with that one. But yeah, look, people, I have to be honest, man. Like, generally just watched that game yesterday and I was like, if we had a better striker, we would have done so much better. Even if Kudu started the game, I feel like we would have done so much better. Because we had a winger that didn't take on his man and completed 0 crosses. And we had a striker that pretty much missed all his bigger chances. So, like, what more do you guys expect? I watched the game as it happens. Same, but again, you can't really watch it back, can you? So, I don't know. Like, if you wanna do some analysis, like, you probably have to watch the extended highlights. Oh, yeah. So I'm not wrong, will I? Why didn't Moani start? He needs minutes, Rangers. You know what? If Moani started the last game, I feel like he's still hesitant to throw him in starting back-to-back games because naturally he's only just come back from injury. He's still got, he can pick up and he can re-injure himself and pick up another niggle, and we have big games ahead. So this game ultimately, like we saw for most teams in the Carabao Cup last night, everyone done mad rotations. Newcastle didn't do the maddest rotation, but they rotated. Joe Willock and Jacob Ramsey don't start in their midfield. Usually it's Mahrez, Joe Linton, or Lewis Miley. Neither of them started. They rotated their midfield. They didn't have either of their fullbacks available. They didn't start Sven Botman. I'm sorry, I think Botman might be injured. But they didn't start either of their fullbacks because they were both out injured. Either of their wingers, Jacob Murphy or Anthony Gordon, didn't start. So they made rotations. Arsenal had Waneri, Anus, and Dowman playing up against Brighton. Chelsea had like all the young G's out on the pitch. Man City as well, like a lot of people made changes. Liverpool, a lot, like I think everyone knew that this was probably like you have to sacrifice ultimately. And when you have 4 competitions to go in against, we've got a tough schedule. We've got 11 injuries. I think ultimately we had to sacrifice a competition and just be like, you know, we're going to make some changes here. If it works today, it does. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's what happened. So it's not the end of the world. Like we lost the game. It's the Carabao Cup. It's not the Premier League. So it's no 3 points down the drain or nothing like that. We've got a massive game on the weekend to look forward to where we can look ahead to potentially beating a Chelsea side who can take confidence from the midweek performance where they scored a few goals, but also conceded quite a few goals as well. So I'm just looking at this Chelsea team and saying, look, they're there to be broken. Down at the back, they make mistakes. We just need the players in our front line to finish and put the ball in the back of the net this weekend. Finish your dinner. Kolo Muani hopefully starts up top, could get his first goal on the score sheet. And then I think Odebert might come in on that left-hand side. If not, maybe throw... Nah, Simmons has been good once you give him the freedom in these past 2 games. So I'd like to see Simmons back in that sort of 10 role. And I think he might have a really strong game against Chelsea. Jords, when everyone is fit in your squad, what's your best starting lineup? So the back 4 speaks for itself. In fact, depending on the game, I'd go either Udogie or Spence, depending if we need more left-hand side attacking, or depending how good their attacker is on that on that right wing. If they've got a strong right winger, I'd probably go Spence. But if their right wing's a bit weak, then I'm going to go throw Udogie out on that left-hand side. Then obviously Romero, Van de Ven, Pedro Porro, and Vicario. Then in the midfield, I'd go, again, depending on the game, Bentancur, Paulinho in some games, or Paulinho and Sarr. I think just depends on the game. You'll start who you need. And I'm going to go Xavi Simons in the 10, Kudus on the right, Richarlison, not Richarlison, I'm reading his name, madness. Solanke up top. I'm going to say Solanke up top. I'm going to go Kulusevski. No, I'm going to say a rotational front 3. That's what I'm going to say. A rotational front 3 of Kulusevski, Xavi, and Kudus. Whichever positions they take up on the pitch, whether it's left, center, or right, don't really matter. But just a rotational front 3 that's fluid behind the striker in Kulusevski, Xavi, and Kudus, I think that will be serious attacking play. That's why I'm really not mad. Like I just know that once we get Kulusevski back into this team, this attacking football is gonna take another level up. A high quality 9 can transform away a team attacks. Fact, G Spurs. That's like people aren't understanding that. Definitely got to watch it back if this is your opinion on the game. That's lie, telling a straight A student that you can't do a reset. I don't even get what you're trying to say. I think if you watch it and you thought it was a bad game, then I think you need to watch the game back. Remember yesterday you were saying 2-0. I told you be careful what you say because but I said I wasn't confident. Like, I literally said at the start of the stream I'm not feeling confident for this game because I knew we were away from home, innit? Elijah, Elijah was confident, not me. Elijah was the one saying, yeah, I think we can win. When I saw lineup and knew we were losing, yeah, I have to agree. Like when I saw lineup, I was like, so many questions. They're absolute shambles nights. Right now, do not say Chelsea. Good Chelsea side. Before I said they can take confidence from their last game, but it's not a good Chelsea side. So maybe you're the fraud because you don't listen. Personally, start Vicario. All right, there's no doubt about that. Well, let me come back to Wayne's question as well. In your opinion, what midfield do you think Chelsea might play against us at home? A bit worried, but have faith. Big up for the question first, Wayne. But the Chelsea midfield that I think they're going to start is they're going to go really similar to us. And I think we're going to see them start with, we're probably going to have Bentancur and Paulinho. And I think they're going to go Enzo and Caicedo. But because they don't have Cole Palmer, we've been seeing quite a few different players playing that number 10. With Liam Delap getting the red card as well, he's unable to play against us. So that's a positive because they're probably going to have to start with João Pedro up top. So I think that's a delivery. 2 seconds, people. We're back. So yes, what we have been seeing is João Pedro is probably going to have to play up top for them. And we could see, that's what I mean. They've got a few different players that can play in that 10. So I'm not really too sure. We might see Enzo be pushed forward into that 10 and have Lavia playing in the deeper role and just sort of having them as a close-knit front three. Not front three, middle three. Just 3 central midfielders, and with obviously Caicedo playing the deeper role. Or you could also see Caicedo in at the right back, and then they throw. Oh, what are you doing? Sometimes you do see Caicedo at right back if Reece James needs a rest, and he'll sort of invert, and then they'll change the midfield. So I'll be honest, I'm not really too sure. We do know Caicedo is going to start. I suspect that Enzo would start, and it's just about who they put in that 10. We've also seen Andre Santos start in there recently as well. Esteval could go in there. I'm not too sure on the 10, but I think they'll have a really strong midfield of Caicedo and Enzo. So we'll probably have to match that with Paulinho and Bentancur just to make sure that we have those legs in front of our defense, but also that physical, combative midfielders, because that's exactly what they are. Enzo and Caicedo love to get into those challenges, and we know Caicedo has been a problem when he plays against us. Scored a few goals recently. Also was surrounded the whole controversy of the challenge that was made on him from Romero. So, bro, you just keep coming in and out. So yeah, look, I do think Chelsea's midfield is going to be good. That's the one bit in their team that they can really rely on some quality. So let's see. Chat, it's confirmed that Jords doesn't watch my content as much as I watch his. How is that confirmed? What are you even on about? I said that Kinski is the same guy who conceded 6 to Liverpool. If I'm not mistaken, the 6-3 game. The 6-3 game was a Premier League game, and I'm pretty sure that was in December. So I think that was Ben Foster. Not Fraser Forster, sorry. I think that was Fraser Forster in goal for that one, I have to be honest. But Kinski is a very young goalkeeper. Very young for a keeper. He'll be all right. I don't know about that, man. I don't know. Chelsea always goes Super Saiyan versus us. It don't matter their form. That is true. They do tend to turn up against us. Told yesterday I don't want to see Richarlison in this starting side. Yeah. I don't think many of us do. Many of us have given up with him. But when I'm doing predicted lineup, it's a predicted lineup. It's who I'm trying to predict who is gonna start, not who I want to start in it. So, Jords Hopium tablets arrived. Jords just pulled a shavy right there. I don't know what that is. Yeah, it's a cat. It's a cat called Ghost that just keeps annoying me. I'm 58 in the chat, but only 32 likes. Make sure you show some support. Big up to their member H in the building. Yeah, man. Make sure you guys are smashing the likes because the likes ain't been liking. You guys gotta get this likes up. Let's get to 50 likes. I ain't even checked that whole stream. Let's get these likes up a little piece, people. Frosty, pass English test before you chat to me. Oh, this is too funny. You're just a fruit, Elijah. You're just a fruit. Bro, can't hear tablets from me. Elijah, you're just a fruit, yeah? You're just a fruit, fam. Like, allow my man. Stop being a fraud. Stop being a fruit, fam. But look, people, on that note, we are gonna end it there. Clearly, people have had enough of my shabby defense. But look, when Xavi starts to come off, I am going to be the only one talking about I told you. And Xavi is my guy. I don't want to see anybody celebrating, especially you, Elijah. Don't be celebrating Xavi goals. When Xavi scores, I don't want certain man in this chat celebrating. I don't want anyone starts going, oh, yeah, Xavi's performing now. I don't want to hear any of that. I don't want to hear any of that stuff. Because I'm the one guy that's been praising Xavi. I'm the one guy that's been putting Xavi on a level. Xavi's going to get his respect real soon. Trust me. Respect is incoming. So stay on that side, people. Stay on that side. Don't be trying to come over these sides. But you're just a fruit. But what I am going to do, people, is I'm going to send you over to Team Kopish, who are just... They're in an awful place. They're in an awful place. What is it? 6 losses in the last 7? I don't even know how many games Liverpool lost. They've lost too many. Chills knows all about that. Yeah, I'm doing that, Ghosted. Because you guys are haters. So keep hating. Stay on that side. Don't celebrate if he scores. Mate, you call yourself a Tottenham fan, bro, but you're just a hater. And Xavi Simons, you're trying to you try going in Cam, you bumhead. You try going in Cam. You try it. But look, let's just go hit a DRD raid in the Kopish chat, a Durag Diaries raid, a slot out. Do you know what? Let's do a slot out raid. Let's do a slot out raid, man. Go drop a slot out. Fuck DRD raid. Slot out raid, because I know a lot of them are there right now. Slot out raid. Let's go let them know. And yeah, there is no breading. There definitely is no breading over these sides. But yeah, man, look, big up to everyone. God bless. I hope you all have a good day. And look, we'll be back later on with the Thursday night predictions.